I've worked in marketing for almost 2 decades, and everything I did from a marketing perspective was not focused on the customer or the member. What was it focused on? The eyes and the ears. Everything I did was to try to interrupt you and get your brand out. And I used to do some crazy things. I'll show you a couple examples. I once helped create the world's largest logo. Does anybody recognize that? KFC. It was so big you could see it from space. We did it near Area 51, and I know you could see it from space because we shot it with the Google satellite. 650 million media impressions. I've created a 7-story tall M&M, put it on a barge, and floated it right into New York Harbor. Right in front of Lady Liberty herself. This is a new website. How about banking? Does anybody remember this? This was for Wachovia. We created the world's largest money machine. This helped launch Way to Save. This was a wacky one. I put a 40-foot Viking ship into Times Square to launch all of the merchandise for the movie How to Train Your Dragon for Walmart. Now, when I did this, I thought, maybe you've went too far, but wait for it. I once gave away a Mediterranean island for I can't believe it's not butter. And it gets worse with Fabio. Now, here's the deal. All of these programs, they were successful, but they weren't sustainable and they weren't scalable. And all I knew was I was part of the problem, and I needed to find a better way. And 15 years ago, I'm in New York City. I'm at one of these rooftop bars with a colleague, and we meet an older gentleman who's waiting also to go to an event. And we start talking about the etiquette of being on time, and this gentleman said something to me that changed my life. He said, on time, he said, no one in life is ever on time. And I said, wait a second, I've been on time before. And I'll never forget, he stuck his finger in my face and gave me the Dikembe finger wave. And he said, no. He said, on time is a myth. He said, people in life are either early or what? They're late. He said, no one is ever just on time. And I'll never forget, I took the train home to Connecticut where I lived, and I thought to myself, that's the missing piece. For the members that you serve, does anyone just simply meet their expectations? No. If we're being honest, you either exceed their expectations or what? You fall short. And from that day on, I started being part of the solution. I started to look for companies that did little things. And I started this thing called the Purple Goldfish Project. Now, why purple really quick? Purple is an ode to this iconic American city. What is it? New Orleans. New Orleans, there you go. And its most famous event? Mardi Gras. Purple is one of 3 official colors. And the reason why it's an ode to New Orleans is that there's one word that comes from New Orleans that has the ability to transform what you do. And I love this. Mark Twain, in his autobiography, said, this is a word worth traveling all the way to New Orleans to get. And that word is lagniappe. Lagniappe. And it's customary in New Orleans, if you're doing business, right, if you're doing business with a member, not to just do the transaction, but to do a little more, right? To honor the relationship, right? And so my challenge for you, I went back and I've crowdsourced over 1,000 examples. I was curious, how could you do these little things? And it took me just over 2 years to gather them all in. But this is what I found out. That essentially that there's 10 ways that you can do this, 5 of which are in a category that I call value. Little things that you do for your members. And then there are 5 things in a category that I call maintenance. How do you make it easier for them to be able to do business with you? Now, my challenge for you, if you want to go deeper into this, Purple Goldfish 2.0 is free today. So take out your phone, snap a picture of this. This is my gift to you because I want you to go above and beyond for your members. Because here's the thing. If we're being honest, our credit union isn't what we tell people it is, It's what our members experience. It's how they feel about that experience. And most importantly, it's what they tell other people. Thank you for having me.